What's going on, people? Wanted to do a crypto update. Looking at BTC on a daily, as you see, we've had a nice sell-off, and honestly, scrolling into like the 4-hour, show you what I'm seeing. This time scale, I had it plot on like another chart, was like a channel. And yeah, and we, barely broke out of the channel. Right now, just like a miniature consolidation. I think we're probably gonna, retest the channel as resistance before either we, break up in it, but more than likely break down. I have a target for this sell-off. It's not perfect, but it's like a 18% fall from out of the pattern, which would put you at around the former high, which is, a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of people in like Telegram and on Twitter and stuff like that, really starting to feel the pain. Maybe they're over leveraged. If you remember in this range, well, actually it was like this range, I was saying I was taking profit. We had one more impulse up, and you're never going to be able to time it perfectly when to take profit and get out the market, but you definitely want to be wary of like taking your profit and not falling, not holding on to your position and end up, I mean, you're still at that level, for where I sold off at, but you don't want to be longer in these areas, and then we have this impulse down. And as I was stating in prior videos, what I was seeing on a daily had me cautious. You end up making bearish divergence, which are RSI, from your high to your high. So, that was one indication that there was a potential sell-off. And then, we're starting to, your Scotch RSI is starting to, tip over. It's, falling over, and you're starting to make your first negative histogram on a daily. So, what you're hoping is that, we sell off, make that measure move, and it just starts consolidating. And maybe like on a 4-hour, you make bullish divergence. You really don't want to fall below this level, because the next support is around like 30, anywhere from 30, 35,000. And that would be your next target if we do break this prior peak high. Anything above it is still long, mid to long term bullish. But right now, you just need more data. You need more, just need more time to see where we're going. This could easily just keep selling. I mean, you could sell to 20,000. Could sell. I mean, you could bounce here and start making higher highs. But on a 4-hour, you actually made your first. Yeah, you made your first lower high in a while, from kind of like the last. Look at the swing lows, peak here. That's low here. You kept making higher lows on a 4-hour, but you made your first lower low on a 4-hour in some time. Since this consolidation, since back in mid-January. So I think we're probably, like I said, we probably test the channel, and then confirm that we made a lower high, and then make lower low, and maybe get some consolidation, and then you can take it from there and analyze from there. Where we're gonna go break through this. It's really not strong support. It's just the last peak. We're gonna bounce off this region, or are we gonna go lower? Sorry about that. Looking at Ethereum, you had or like clearer signs that, especially on a daily. Let's look at the daily. Really got to clean this chart up. You had bearish divergence on your MACD. You had a peak, and then you had a higher peak. You get your peak all in here, and then here's your higher peak. And RSI was actually higher, but but Bitcoin selling off, all these alts are going to follow Bitcoin, and they're going to perform worse when Bitcoin volatility is high. If it's selling off, they're going to sell off more. That's just the nature of this of crypto itself. But looking at Ethereum, like a rise and wedge before. I can just extend this. Extend this. And yeah, like you're in a channel this whole time. Really haven't looked at this chart in a while, but you don't want to close below this. If you do, you got to measure move probably around like 850, maybe 950. Sorry. Yeah. And if you remember that around 1,000. If you remember, the BTC pair on Ethereum was bearish. You had bearish divergence that developed and was been selling off before. Ethereum, the USD pair was selling off. And we still haven't made. I think we made a measure move on this. Yeah, made it today. So maybe get some consolidation and then hopefully more upside. But if Bitcoin, is still selling off, then it's really not going to matter as much for the USD pair because of, Bitcoin goes down in value, all crypto goes down for the majority in value. One of the coins that have actually gained value, and that's because it was listed today on FTX, is a coin, I was telling y'all that buy around in this level. That's Kin. Longer term, I said it was looked like didn't look like it was a large cup and handle. You broke out the handle, you consolidate it, and you run it again. Alert did not go off for this target. This was the conservative target. That was in linear, not log. It was like a 96% move, I believe, from even larger. But, for the conservative target, it seems like it hit the target, but let's get the 4 hour. Yeah, on the 4 hour, it hasn't hit the target yet. There's just something off with the BTC pairs. I've noticed that with TradingView, but you haven't hit target yet. That's your, first profit taking zone. But since I posted, I think I posted that Kin was the new Dogecoin. But it was mostly, like I said, because of the pattern that it was developing. No, you're up like I believe like 300%. It's around like say like even 170. I mean, his peak was over 200. I mean, I still long term. Maybe it gets listed on more exchanges. The crazy target is all time high. And we're nowhere near that. Like I said in that video that I posted, that it would take a long time to get to this level unless you get extremely bullish like news, maybe get listed, like I said, get listed on more exchanges, maybe they start creating more dApps that people start using. But just it's been one of the outliers right now in the market. With Sol, which I shared in a prior video, I've been in this coin since like 60 cents. This has been performing extremely well, despite, you know, BTC, you know, selling off. And I had some fibs that I put on this. You see that pretty much hit most of those fibs, and you're starting to sell off now. You know, it's probably oversold on, I mean, overbought on large chart scale. And, you know, you potentially got to keep moving. You got to keep building this momentum because you're getting potentially triple RSI bearish divergence. Nothing on the MACD. I don't know what's going on with the project, but it's held up extremely well. You know, a lot of alts right now are down like 15, at least 15%. Some are seeing like 20, 25%. Another one of this, another asset that's on their blockchain, it's SMR, SRM, sorry, is also up today. I believe it's up 10%. These are all on this SLL's Solmar, whatever, blockchain. They had another coin that's not probably on, probably is on it because it's Ray. Yeah, it's on FTX. This got listed the other day. This was up to like $14 when it first listed. It was at 70 cents. Like, this almost all the like tokens that are listed on FTX right now on this blockchain is like really held up strongly. I think this is going to come down and consolidate, and you know, I guess there's something fundamentally that's just, you know, pushing these prices up in this, you know, correction sell off. But you know, those are some assets that I hold actually are performing well. Look at XRP. This was actually up 10% yesterday. And then like later in the day, it starts to sell off. You know, I'm still extremely bearish on XRP. You can see I got all this stuff in here. And I was like trading it from 25 cents. I still think it's going to come down to 13 cents. Let's look at no really like indication, maybe the RSI bearish divergence, but really just think whoever's controlling XRP's market is just propping it up, getting people to you know, buy in, and then, you know, offloading a lot of their position on unsuspecting, you know, not understanding like what's going on with XRP. People that are still buying into the hype, whatever. There's really nothing really like a descending triangle. Falsely broke out bullishly, and now sold off and it's back testing. Let's see on the 4 hour. Yeah, you don't have any, just like on Bitcoin, you don't have any like signals, no indicators, nothing is showing me that we'll get a reversal. You probably just get like a relief rally before you get more selling off. But, you know, let's look at other assets that was, you know, because a lot of these assets are sold at least 75% of the position. I told you on one of the last updates for crypto. OMG sold off tremendously, actually getting back to the areas where I was saying buy. Really did not perform well. And when Bitcoin was starting to, you know, started to lose momentum, you know, like I said, I took profit, a lot of profit off the table. There's no point of, you know, risking you being up, you know, at the time. I think I was saying at 350, like 350 to 70 area to get in. Maybe even lower. Let's say 350. And his peak was up over 100%. And I was, that's when I was saying, like, I was taking profit off the table. Now I can get in if it starts to pivot. You start to get a signal or time scale. You still need more data for. I'm comfortable taking a long. Maybe get a rally, get back into this region, sell off again, make a lower low, make some bullish divergence, maybe that's when I'm jumping back in. But everything's contingent on Bitcoin. Let's look at Filecoin. Filecoin USDT. Yeah, I had this posted as like consolidation zone, and just use the wicks. It's very hard, like with like a wick like this, I usually don't use these type of wicks as like your structure, but it's kind of respecting it right now. You see, like, it sold off, bounced off of this support at like around like $33. Got back into the structure and held it as support for a little bit, and then sold off, and now just mellowing around. There's just nothing that tells me like, oh yeah, let's jump in along here. I see a lot of people like still like not understanding, like just buying the dip and stuff like that. And if you're cost averaging in that, as long as we continually go up, that's a good strategy. But I like to wait to where there's like some bullish divergence. Maybe there's a harmonic pattern. Maybe, we're just making higher lows on a 4 hour for a significant amount of time. But right now, there's just nothing that tells me that, I should be buying here. So I would just, you just got to be patient in this market and wait till there's some clear signal to load in long and load up and go long. Yeah, I mean, I took like day trades in Litecoin. Just looking at this. I had this, I actually had it better on another chart. I had it like that, measured the structure. It hit the like measure move, actually exceeded it a little bit. And it hit almost 250, which was like the next resistance. I took profit here though. It hit 230, and I literally took everything off the table and was waiting for more data. And you see, like, had that another impulse up and probably made bearish divergence. And you did. You made 1, 2, 3. You made triple bearish divergence on the 4 hour. If I was looking at this, I would definitely took a short. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, nothing on a daily, but the 4 hour, I mean, yeah, nothing on the daily. 4 hour was definitely telling you that the buyers were getting exhausted, and you should expect a sell off. And then you had like, you're like in a channel. You weren't closing, even when you were closing below this like trend line, you were still bouncing up in it, and then you finally broke it, back tested it, scrolling more. Like, you broke it, back tested it, sold off. It's just really just a waiting game. You got to be patient. I mean, there's always the chance that it does this pivot here and it's keep running. If that's the case, I will wait till it starts breaking previous highs and until I enter, because that would tell me like, this was just, somebody was just unloading their position, and there's just so much demand, we're making higher highs. But right now, until that happens, or, you get some type of like bullish divergence, like I said, or harmonic pattern or something. There's just nothing that tells me to buy. I mean, the short was here. It's risky to short now because you're just so, I mean, you're oversold, and then you're starting to get, back into not oversold territory in your RSI. So that's telling me your MACD is starting to trend up. Tells me that a rally is coming. If you like, it's just like with Bitcoin. If you make a lower high and you get a sell off, maybe you get some bullish divergence on like the 4 hour, and then you take your entry. But probably, for most of these charts, they're probably going to be the same. I mean, look at Wax. I even took my initial investment off the table on Wax. Like in this area. Luckily, I did. I'm just, riding the rest of my position, playing with house money right now. So, I mean, the market has been so bullish, and I was, like I said, previous videos, I was expecting a correction. PTC was looking, it was showing me signs that there was potential, the momentum was shifting to bearish, even though it was still trending up. Really, it wasn't nothing that signaled maybe, actually, your MACD on these impulses kept getting lower. And that's the indicator, even your RSI, that, the bulls are losing momentum. And that's what you look for, for a trend reversal. And especially with Bitcoin going up for the last like 6 months, mostly going just up. A correction right now would be healthy. So just to wrap this up, let's go back to BTC real quick and see where potential targets are. If, the 40K, 42 to 40K region doesn't hold as support, if this is like your, your local top or, your top, which I'm not hoping for, but I mean, anything is possible in these markets. Let's look at the weekly. And this was actually the target for, this is a little off, but I had an ultimate target of Bitcoin going to like 64,000. 64 to 65,000. I got that target. This is not log. And log scale, just the measure move of, it's like symmetric triangle from this consolidation for about 3 years. Their target, do where you break out, 546, a little off. So around like 70K, maybe consolidate, and then you hit the ultimate target around like 68, 69,000. That was like 64, 65, was a little off. But if this is the top, measuring from your, do you want to measure from the ultimate bottom to the, let's do for the March bottom. And about 58.5 is the top. I mean, right now it's signaling, it's hitting a 236. Could potentially be a top. No, I'm a little off. That's not the top. Just a little off. Just a little off. Let me hide this real quick. Oh, that's a weekly. And this could be, you hit the 236. That usually signals the top But again, this is from the March low to, your high from, I believe it was on Saturday. But if this is the top, it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be shocking to see Bitcoin come down to the 618, around 24,000. Maybe, the 50% retrace is 30,800. That's support zone. And the 382 is at 37, about 37,200. You could get a deeper retrace. I mean, anything like, seriously, if you have not been in this space and you're new to the space, like 80% corrections, 90% corrections are typical after runs like this. I'm not saying that this is the ultimate top. You still need more data. You start breaking, 30,000. We could come down to these levels, but it's definitely, right now, as I've been stating in the last few videos, be extremely cautious, be patient. Don't just jump in positions because people are telling you that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 or $1 million. Like, you really got to understand that, no asset goes straight up or straight down. And, the correction is right now would be healthy, like coming back down to this 40K region and, consolidating and then making another impulse up. That would be normal, just like, back here in January. You had a base like a month of consolidation. Maybe we'll get something similar. You just get a month of, lower lows, lower highs until, we make a structure and we break out of it. That would be actually very bullish for Bitcoin long term. I'm hoping that happens. Even with Bitcoin consolidating like this, if it just starts consolidating, stop selling off, like stop being as volatile, you have the chance for alts to recover. Their BTC pairs will be able to, start to make, start to make their runs. And, I'll probably do a video looking more into these BTC pairs and seeing what coins right now are looking the most bullish. I know I looked at, get back on Kin real quick. I know I looked at Kin. Yeah, this KNC. Looked at his BTC pair and it looked like it was, yeah. This is why you plot these support and resistance. Let's look at daily. You see that this is being held as resistance. You break above this, there's nothing there. There's no resistance that will stop Kin from a very big markup. That's your next real resistance. And you break that, you're going like, and with Bitcoin price still in the 40,000s, that target that seems extreme with Kin will, get into these levels will start to get achieved. You're talking about a 300-400% markup, 350 markup. But you got to break this level, like 307 Satoshis. You break that, there's nothing but, opportunity until about, 580 Satoshis. And, hopefully this, plays out. Hopefully you got into the position. Hopefully, you found this information useful. This is not financial advice. But, until next time, good luck. Hopefully you got out of these positions and hopefully you didn't lose a lot of money. Peace.